Education is the foundation of our national development and the ladder to economic empowerment. This powerful statement by former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi underscores the critical role education plays in shaping our economy, strengthening our society, and empowering future generations. Welcome to Edu Dialogue on Voice of the People Television, the program where we examine the issues, policies, innovations, and people shaping the future of education in Nigeria. I'm Matthew Ogunswada. Today, we begin with a major development from the National Assembly. Later on the program, we will also be shifting our focus to digital literacy and the skills needed to prepare young Nigerians for a knowledge-driven economy. But first, let's begin with our first conversation of the day. The Nigerian Senate has approved the Sexual Harassment of Students Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2025, a law that prescribes up to 14 years in prison for lecturers and other educators found guilty of sexually harassing students in tertiary institutions. Deputy Senate Leader Senator Lola Shiru, who presented the bill for concurrence, said the legislation is designed to protect students and strengthen ethical standards across campuses. Under the new bill, offenses such as demanding sexual favors, making unwelcome advances, inappropriate physical contact, or encouraging others to harass students will attract between 5 and 14 years in jail with no option of fine. Offenders guilty of lesser related offenses face 2 to 5 years imprisonment, also without an option of fine. The bill also empowers victims to pursue civil action and allows complaints to be filed not only by the students, but also by relatives, guardians, and concerned individuals. Reports can be submitted to the police, the Attorney General, or an institution's sexual harassment committee. The only defense recognized under the law is lawful marriage between educator and the student. Consent is not valid where there is a power imbalance. The bill now awaits presidential assent. Now, joining me to discuss this is Ibrahim Babatunde Jinadu, who is an educationist, a youth advocate, and a special advisor to the permanent board member for planning, research, and statistics at the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board. And virtually, I have Dr. Olasukanmi Arowolo, who is a lecturer, a media scholar, and the founder of Research Africa. Ibrahim, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining me on the program.
Good afternoon, Mr. Boya.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's begin with the first conversation. With the new bill prescribing up to 14 years imprisonment for convicted educators, what structural reform and reporting mechanisms must universities put in place to ensure that victims feel safe, supported, and confident enough to report harassment without fear of backlash or academic victimization? And tell us your general perception about this new bill.
Oh, thank you so much. Good afternoon once again. I would say as an educationist, for students and educators sexual harassment bill, in first instance, I will advise the institution to have what we call the sexual harassment response unit. So that will be a unit, a physical infrastructure will be in the campus, whereby they will have what we call an encrypted app for students to submit complaint without fear, and they will have external body like National University Commission, that is the NUC, to oversee
the affair of the. So you are saying that the role of the National University Commission should go beyond accrediting institutions. They should also see to messages yes, and issues relating to this.
Definitely. I think we need the National
University Commission,
NUC
yeah,
to interfere so they can oversee, so that the students won't be afraid to complain. And with that, we need the representative from the school staffs. Yeah. We need a representative from the NUC, and also we need a representative of the student union. And I will advise the legal advisor of the student union to
also be part of the committee. Now, talking about student union and talking about the committee, which you of course mentioned now, the role of student union in universities cannot be overemphasized. Talking about student union being involved in the sexual harassment committee, do you think would be the role of student union? What role do you think they would play in that process?
That's why I said I will advise this student union legal advisor. He knows what to do. He will advise the student on what to do and what not to do. Yeah. And he can stand for the student.
Yeah. All right, so false accusation remains a concern in any punitive law. people tend to accuse lecturers wrongly, even when we know that some of these lecturers are doing things that are right. So what robust verification and investigative system should be established to protect both the students and educators while ensuring that justice will be ensured?
Thank you so much. I think once again I will say this: the institution needs to have what we call the rapid response verification unit.
Yeah.
For the students, whereby we engage with the forensic psychologists. We have legal auditors from maybe the NBA, so they can do that for to get across with the complaint. To get across the complaint, maybe yes, this is valid or not. So when the law is trying to punish the offenders, the law will also free the innocent educators and lecturers.
All right. So given that the bill allows complaints from students, relatives, and third parties, meaning that the complaints are not limited to only the students alone, the parents of these students can also make complaints. The guardians or the third parties that are involved that knows about what, because a lot of people are sexually harassed, but they cannot speak out.
Definitely.
But this bill now say that the restriction or the complaint should not be limited to the students alone. The relatives should also interfere. So how do you think authorities can manage cases like this, where accused claims of the allegation is politically or personally motivated, especially in competitive academic setting? Because we know that when students refuse to complain and their guardians now complain, how do you think this can be managed? How do you think disciplinary action would be enforced such that people will be able to know that this thing that is really happening is not limited to the students alone? The guardian can also complain. How do you think they will believe the guardian or the relative?
Okay, thank you so much. I will also advise the institution to have what we call a MAP. That is a motive assessment protocol. So during preliminary exercise, yes, they can ask the guardian to submit their details, how relative they are to the complainant, and from there they can take it on and have like I said, the external body to also conduct that and have a better result with that.
So do you think this will not be politically motivated? Do you think that at some point it will not be personally motivated, especially guardians that are in touch or they are personally looking for a lecturer's pitfall or a lecturer's downfall in some instance?
Okay, I think with this we will need an external an hybrid external scrutinization.
Yeah.
So we can achieve that. So for you to there will be a verification, like a very high standard verification for us to know from the complainant and the accuser. So we can get
complainant and the accuser. I want you to actually tell me who a complainant is and who is an accuser.
The complainants are the students from what we said, and the accuser are the lecturers and educators.
Complainants, accusers. So how do we then bridge the gap between the complainants and the accusers?
Like
in this instance, because you said the complainants are the students, they are the one making complaints.
They are accusing their educators.
Do you think this is even right? If they are found guilty, if the accusers are found guilty, do you think it's right?
If the accuser, no, it's not right. That's why I said we need external body to interfere. Because let me assume I'm a lecturer, you are a lecturer, and the lecturer accused is your friend. You want to cover up.
Yeah.
But when there is the external body, that will not occur. So the complainant can get justice.
Dr. Lasukomi, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We are very glad to have you join us once again from the United Kingdom. All right, so we are talking about the Sexual Harassment and Prohibition Bill. And this bill states that consent is not valid where power imbalance exists. Now, I want you to, first of all, tell us your general assessment of this bill. And then with the law now extending reporting channels to police, attorney general offices, and institutional committees, what role should university play in ensuring that independence, professionalism, and confidentiality within their internal complaint resolution system work?
Okay, I'll start with my assessment. I think this is a long-awaited judicial and policy that needed to have implemented this long time ago. I would say, like the first speaker said, however, it needs to be done appropriately. When I say appropriately, it needs to be done with a sense of responsibility and looking at it from all angles. He has mentioned that there is need for independent body. I will call it independent safeguarding units. When I say safeguarding, there's what they call safeguarding policy. It is meant to protect both the students and the staff, meaning that there is a button that anybody can press at any time, and there is a constant updated reporting system that will log activities. So usually the first logger will be the one that will be like the complainer putting the system. So it is student centered, but the power, entire power shouldn't be put into students' hands. So also there should be this reporting system should be secure. You understand what I mean by that? There is how do I put it now? We need to get to a point where we can, actually have a transparent system without biases. That will be the foundation of it. Or what my own general assessment and that consent, it's not a defense. Yes, you are not meant to have whatsoever relationship that is not professional with your students. That is the standard practice. For those who have crossed that boundary, it's simply because the system allowed it and permitted it. Every office should have a standard communication system. No student should be allowed to call the lecturer directly on their private line, not even texting them on social platform. You're not meant to be connected as such, except for professional network. And also, the school is not providing telephone system in each of the offices where they can be reached within office hours. We've had cases of students reach in chatting with lecturers during the after school hours, after work hours, meaning they are with their family and several messages coming from different students making complaints and more. It puts them at a vulnerable stage. And at what point this even put the student in a position to throw themselves at lecturers, and also it puts the lecturer in a position to even exploit such avenue to take advantage of them. But if there's an official communication system that can be monitored, we won't be talking about this. Email, if you have it, use it. Official email, that sets the boundary. That's my standard. That's what I will use.
Doctor, thank you for raising that point. And based on the point you actually raised now, some would argue that enforcement will be difficult, where lecturers hold significant power over students' grades, recommendation, and academic advancement. So do you think that Nigeria should consider independent academic evaluation and grading system to reduce lecturer-student power abuses related to sexual coercion? And based on the email that you have said right now, do you think that it's at all points in time that every lecturer will be abreast to respond to emails?
Well, I would say that you can have independent grading system. You can only have an holistic, transparent, and even questionable grading system. When I say questionable, you can ask questions. The student will get real-time feedback. Bring all of this offline marking and essay instead of using papers where a lecturer can just take it to his bedroom and mark. Bring them all online where it can be verified, the input output. It is even easier to even evaluate, to moderate some of this marking. So have a drag track standard. Institutional investigation can be based on balance and it is actually under probability. If at all we want to make reference to the standards of grading for lecturers, they taught these materials, they have the same right to grade it, except where they are now deemed incompetent to do that because of some reasons. So what I'm saying is that bring them online. You can't bring an independent. What will be the standard? You only need that where their trust is now questionable.
All right. Thank you so much for that thought, Doctor. Sexual harassment on campuses is often systemic, supported by silence and culture. So what punishment or beyond punishment, what proactive education ethics, training, and cultural reform must be implemented to dismantle long-standing pattern of intimidation and inappropriate lecturer-student relationship?
Oh, it's okay. Again, it all boils down to the system. I understand the culture, the silent culture is there, and we need to be very careful here. The point is that in the university environment, there is a clear boundary. There should be a defined clear boundary between the student and lecturer. It should be defined, irrespective of the culture. We are multi-ethnic group, yeah, and there are different background, different cultures. We have allowed it. Culture is made for the people, not the people made for culture. You understand that? We have to understand that, and the culture, the Yoruba culture that I belong to, that I come from, the Nigerian culture that I know, do not allow sexual harassment. You can't touch people. It doesn't make sense. You have to be married to the person before you can even be intimate with them. It is just the degrading moral system. So when we say systemic, the university environment created that vulnerability.
So what do you think can be done to recover the systemic degradation that you have mentioned? And of course, there have been cases of institutions attempting to cover up harassment to protect their reputation. So what punitive measures should apply to university or administrators who suppress reports or intimidate complainants? And how can transparency be enforced?
All right, I've made it clear. Safeguarding policies. This is practicable. It is being done in foreign nations. However, do not copy theirs. Design yours to fit, because theirs have its limitation. You understand what I mean? If you have a safeguarding boundaries, and the lecturers, it also boils down to the lecturers, the teachers themselves. They have to be set boundaries. Safeguardings are good because you safeguard not just the student, you safeguard the lecturer too. Both parties can, report case. An independent body come to evaluate it. It is not for the school. It's for an independent body to undo and to bring the parties, evaluate the statement and identify any vulnerability, take evidences and get witnesses where necessary. And also, you don't need to get to the point where you set up a lecturer before you are able to find out the truth. But unfortunately, because they don't have all of this structure in place, they have to go to that extent of setting up lecturers before they can get them trapped. If there is a safeguarding practice, everybody is aware. There will be clear communication. They know the boundaries. They know what they need to do per time. That make everything clear, and you can't be ignorant of what is already made known to you. Thank you.
Now, Doctor, thank you for raising that point that you can't be ignorant of what is being made known to you. The bill acknowledges marriage as a defense. How do we address ethical concerns around educators pursuing romantic or marital relationships with current students, even if consensual, given the imbalance of power and influence?
Marriage is not a defense.
Whether you are married or not married, or to this sexual harassment bill,
it does not automatically exempt you from being an harasser or abuser.
So either you are married or not, you can
abuse your partner even in marriage, and that is the different case for another thing. So for people, in fact, most lecturers who are found wanting is because they have a failing marriage or they don't have a solid relationship, or perhaps they just don't have moral standard. So it's actually it's marriage is not a defense, like it has been rightly said. That you're married is not a direct clear cut. It's not an alibi. It's not an alibi. It doesn't work. So we have to separate all of those boundaries and treat cases separately. Yes.
All right. So you are still of the view that moral standard should be upheld, irrespective of whatever happens between the students. There should be moral standard between the lecturer. There should be moral standard.
Yes. Yeah, it's again, let me just make this clear. It boils down to the lecturers, standing on their foot and making their decision clear cut that okay, this is a professional relationship, and treat it as one, because your parents have entrusted their children in their hands. In fact, the categories of students in school now, they are younger ones. They don't really know their left from their right, and they think they can use what they have to get what they want. So you have been entrusted to guide them morally, because the certification after graduating in school is in learning and character. So what character, what kind of things are you teaching them? What kind of what should be the quality of their experience when they are done? Or can they look back and say that they've been truly imparted? So you have been entrusted. It is for lecturers now to take the responsibility, to be responsible just as they would. Well, not all of them are, for them to even to their children. But in this case, you have been entrusted There's a moral standard expected. There's a code of ethics, and you should follow that through.
Thank you so much,
Doctor. We'll
Doctor.
start discussing this and
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Doctor. Moral standard, code of ethics should be upheld as regards to the sexual harassment and prohibition bill. You're still watching Edge Dialogue on Voice of the People Television. We will take a quick break now, and when we return, we'll go into the second conversation of the day. Please stay tuned.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Xavier Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Thank you.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here is to view PTV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti and you're watching BOPTV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Glad to have you back on the program. As technology continues to reshape global learning systems, Nigeria is taking bold steps to prepare the next generation for a digital future. The National Senior Secondary School Education Commission has announced plans to train 1,500 teachers nationwide in digital literacy, with an additional 6,000 educators to be trained through a partnership with Google on artificial intelligence and emerging tech skills. According to the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Iyela Ajayi, 50 senior secondary schools across the 36 states and the FCT have also been selected for upgrade in infrastructure and learning facilities. At the core of this initiative is a clear message. Without strong digital capacity in our schools, Nigeria risks falling behind in the global knowledge economy. From virtual classrooms to AI-driven learning tools, the world is moving fast and our teachers must move with it. Now, it's important for us to examine the need to invest in teacher digital training, strengthen school infrastructure, and ensure Nigerian students are equipped not only to participate but to compete globally, while I still have with me seasoned educationists to help us make sense of this topic. Now, let me start with you, Babatunde. How critical is digital literacy for teachers in today's education system?
To me, I would say digital literacy is extremely critical.
Yeah.
Because it's actually needed. It's an essentialist tool for teachers and learners. And when we talk about the digital literacy skills, we need it. The teacher need it, and the teacher need it so that they can use it to prepare our learners for the ecosystem, digital ecosystem world.
So when you say digital ecosystem world, what do you mean? And what immediate impact can this training have on student learning outcome?
Okay, good. When I'm talking about digital ecosystem,
yes,
what I'm trying to say is that when you use what we call an animation, to teach students, when we use visuals, to communicate with students
beyond the classroom,
marker board, it gives them retentive memory. It gives learners to remember what they are seeing, the view they are looking at, and what it makes them recollect what has occurred immediately, so that it also makes the class practicable and engaging.
Okay, I wanted to ask, based on what you've said now, I know you are the special advisor to the permanent board member, LASUBEB. Are there initiatives like this in LASUBEB that Lagos State schools are benefiting?
We have Lagos Smart School. It's a model of what we are talking about, digital literacy. And I will also say, even in our rural area, we have our teachers using tabs, ICT, to communicate with their learners, their pupils. So you can see Lagos at advanced when we talk about digital literacy. They are using the ICT system. We have a center hubs whereby pupils go there to learn after during classes.
Thank you so much. Doctor, let me come to you. How do you think we can ensure that students benefit from this initiative, and what policies should be put in place to sustain digital capacity development beyond this rollout?
All right, so first, we have readiness presently is uneven. You can't say what is happening. The development we have in Lagos is the same in other part of the country. So urbans are well resourced, and the federal colleges and some private schools are advancing, but many public schools face constraints of power, internet, even state schools and devices. The student and teachers need capacity building in this regard. I'm aware that even at some of the premium, I don't want to mention names, with public and state universities still have to rely on using their personal devices to serve the university needs. This is not supposed to be a work system. Work devices should be separate from personal devices. This is how the security can also be put in place. So there should also be national, and in fact there have been national donors and more, but some of these, the way they use it and distribute it is political and biased, not really for what they intend to use. So the school have to put a system, a tag in place to ensure that both students and lecturers have access to the devices that they need for us to be actually prepared. You know, and now in a fast-moving world, we have the AI coming in, and in fact, if you don't have the devices, how can you even get familiar with some of these platforms? And then when we talk about digital ecosystem earlier, it means the interconnectedness of all of these devices to provide a robust learning environment. Where, there is this saying that I just want to quickly go to you, that 10% of what we read is what we remember. We learn and we remember 20% of what we hear, and we learn and remember what 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss, and 80% of our experience. Digital ecosystem gives a student experience. You understand that? And we need to heavily invest in it. Presently, the Nigerian education budget is still less than 10% for a country who wants to become a leader. If you have that foresight, then you have to put a lot of resources and ensure that those resources are put to rightful use, not just
Yes.
allocating and just living.
All
And
right.
solve the problem of power, solve the problem of internet. We are on our way there.
All right. So, in your own view, what skills must Nigerian students acquire to compete in the global digital economy? And how can parents and private sector stakeholders support digital transformation of our schools?
Skills. When you talk about skills, I would say we should begin with our personal development skills. When you are personally motivated to develop yourself, the rest becomes easy. So first time, the core bundle of advancing in this regard is digital literacy, productivity softwares. The school should subscribe and make available to their students using their students' emails to access their subscribed software so that they can use it to learn, and it will be a safe environment for them to use since they're using the university access. So online research build at some high level of independence. This has liberated me a long time ago. There's what they call internet poverty or digital poverty. Digital poverty when you don't have access to digital asset devices that can connect you. Internet poverty when you don't have connection, when you are limited by data, by finances, by restrictions. It becomes very, very bad. This speaks of them, the telecommunication industry, and the fact that they need to revise the laws that says that people have to buy data per volume. They can pay unlimited, pay money monthly by subscription, and have access to online. These are enablers. Create online environment, and also computational thinking is another thing. Problem-solving skills are built when you interact. Look at kids, the younger ones, when they handle devices, even at what adults could not do, they are doing because the kids, they spend time with these devices. We have data native and migrants. The data natives are good. The migrants, they don't want to familiarize themselves with it. Their technological accessibility is quite low and they need to improve on this. So this will help them to start thinking in a way that the computer interacts, learning the language of computer. AI literacy, very important. You can't say this thing is bad, this thing is making students cheat. You have to learn the act and see how you can incorporate it. So the UK institution, I would say Cambridge or Oxford, have recently introduced a curriculum, a ChatGPT Edu, that allows that allows students to learn through it, using it. That is a legal framework for us for using AI. And also,
so are there no threats related to that? Are there no threats related to that? Are there no threats?
Are there no what?
Threats.
No, they are not threat because the modules, the LLM has been trained in a way that it is within the curriculum boundary, so we can have an adapted system. Which, the university system can learn from NOA. NOA have done something significant. I'm very happy with National Orientation Agency. They did something significant on their website, just using their online.
We lost that connection there. But we really appreciate your contribution, Dr. Olasukomi Arowolo, who is a lecturer and, of course, a media and communication consultant. Ibrahim, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Really do appreciate you from the Lagos State University Basic Education Board. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. You're still watching Edu Dialogue on Voice of the People Television. We'll take another quick break now. And when we return, we'll bring you top stories from Nigeria's education sector. Please stay tuned.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where power shifts with every headline,
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Join us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Savior Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns. Thank you.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here is to view PTV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti and you're watching BOPTV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Glad to have you back on the program. The federal government has launched the Nigeria Talent Accelerator Network, a landmark program designed to boost national productivity, accelerate digital transformation, and prepare Nigerians for the future of work. This initiative, unveiled in Lagos, forms part of the World Economic Forum's Skilling Revolution and is coordinated by the National Talent Exports Program, officially placing Nigeria in the Global Accelerators Network. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Uduwole, described the launch as a decisive step towards building a globally competitive workforce capable of driving industrialization, innovation, noting that the platform will connect policy, industry, and education to enhance employability and inclusive growth. Also speaking, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, reaffirmed the government's commitment to aligning education and vocational training with labor market needs, ensuring that young Nigerians develop future-ready skills. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Suweiba Said Ahmad, says the federal government is intensifying efforts to reposition education as a key driver of economic growth and national development. Speaking at the 2025 Annual General Meeting of Principal and Federal Unity Colleges in Lagos, the minister, represented by the Director of Senior Secondary Education, Ajia Binta Abdulkadri, said improving access to quality education, especially for the girl child and persons with special need, remains a top priority. She noted that reforms in curriculum development, teacher professionalization, and digital transformation are underway to equip students with skills for a knowledge-driven economy. Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Abel Olumuyiwa Eniton, said a major curriculum overhaul tagged Light Load, Stronger Minds is being implemented to reduce subject overload and strengthen vocational, digital, and STEM pathways, ensuring that students graduate with both knowledge and practical skills. Kano State House of Assembly has introduced a bill seeking to make the mother tongue, particularly Hausa, the official language of instruction in the state. The bill, titled Kano State Mother Tongue Hausa Language Education Enforcement Bill, was sponsored by Musa Kachaku, representing the Takai constituency. Presenting the bill during plenary, Kachaku said the initiative aligns with international best practices, noting that countries like China, Japan, and India recorded major scientific and technological breakthrough after prioritizing early education in their indigenous languages. He explained that adopting Hausa as the primary classroom language would strengthen learning, boost comprehension, and reduce failure rates and help curb school dropouts. The move, he added, would also strengthen and preserve cultural identity and promote inclusive education. And that's it on today's edition of Edu Dialogue on Voice of the People Television. Today, we've explored two key drivers shaping Nigeria's education future: protecting students through stronger anti-harassment laws and equipping teachers with digital skills to power technology-driven learning. From safeguarding learner dignity to preparing educators for a digital era, one thing is clear: Nigeria's education system stands at a defining moment, and the decisions we make today will shape our future workforce and strengthen our nation. For more updates and engaging conversation, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and across all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, we'd love to hear from you. So share your eyewitness report, event coverage request, photos or videos with us on WhatsApp at 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom via email at news@vop.ng. I'm Matthew Ogunswada saying thank you for watching and bye for now.